Inbox?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, I find them.
What's the date?
Yeah, no, it been sent yesterday.
Yesterday's?
857.
Hold on, because it's not letting me get there.
All mail. Meeting
I can't even. I've been messing with Rivers and mine's telephone. I can't. Technology is just over my head.
Okay. We got everybody here. Let's go ahead and get started.
Oh. Becky, come over here.
Any minutes on?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Here.
Riley.
Here.
Here.
Bossy.
Here.
Dow. Here. Andy, do you want to send that this way?
Yeah, I just need to get to the inbox. I can't. We put some cryptology stuff on it.
Yeah, there.
Thank you. Did the agenda go right? Or the agenda, on those boxes? Is it right? Is it ordered? Like there? Do they know what order on it?
Touch one. It should say agenda on it.
Yeah, the next one, is it just put it right? Well, last one.
It's in alphabetical order.
Huh?
It's in alphabetical.
one, please.
Here you go.
Thank you, Bill.
Sure. I can run one, I just
Retrain
can't
herself
remember to
how to
bring
use
one.
Retrain herself to use it.
Okay, everybody's up on the roll call. Approval of minutes of April 10th, regular meeting is distributed. Anybody got any questions as to what was discussed last month? Okay.
Second.
Made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Additions, deletions, or continuances to agendas. Anybody got anything other than what we've already got on the list? We've got a pretty full event tonight.
Wow.
Okay. Cool. Visitors, 5-minute limit to 5 minutes.
Where's our...
You're just here?
I'm just here.
Your
Okay.
name, please.
Richard Wiednar.
Say it again.
Richard Wiednar.
Weednar?
So we're gonna be famous on YouTube or something?
I used to do this in high school. Always want to get back to it. And nobody does it here, so.
Okay. You guys?
Yeah, Debbie Driscoll.
Okay.
She filed a complaint.
You got it?
You want me to come up there or?
You can stand up.
Okay.
You can stand up, you can sit down, it doesn't make any difference to me.
Whatever
Okay.
you want. It's not gonna make any difference as long as it comes out.
Okay. The guys picked up the stuff for the city cleanup, which we knew the trash bags was trash. And what I'm here to complain about is my yard.
Okay.
There's 2 big holes in the front. And I'd like to have that fixed back.
Okay. How much of the stuff that was out for citywide cleanup was set out the way that the letter and the district, the stuff that was in the paper and on Channel 60 and the posters all around town, how much of it was actually correctly positioned for the employees to pick up?
It was on the west side of the yard, there in front.
Okay.
And the regular trash was on the east side.
Okay. And they picked up both of them, is what you're telling me?
No, they just picked up
The west side.
the west side.
Okay. Okay. So in the process of them picking all that stuff up, they've damaged your yard, is what
Yes.
you're telling me? Okay. I actually had them show me some pictures of the before and after stuff. My personal thought about it is that there was an awful lot of stuff there that probably should have never been put in that pile. It should have been disposed of through the normal garbage situation. I mean, these guys do this once a year. This program has been in effect for a lot of years, but I can tell you right now, basically the board and I have gotten pretty damn close to pulling the plug on it forever because of misuse by the citizens. I mean, you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that these guys have been asked to pick up that should have been disposed of through the regular channels.
Yeah, I didn't ask them to pick it up.
Yeah.
But like I said, we had ours separated.
It wasn't all separated, cause I was there picking it up. So, we separated 99% of it.
But anyway, while I'm here,
You want your yard?
I want my yard fixed.
Okay, that had already been discussed by the city superintendent, and he is going to fix your yard,
Okay?
so.
Cause like I said, the other, we
And a
put
lot
out
of that-
there,
A lot of that stuff wasn't put on the curb, so we had to go clear up in your yard to get it. The city does have a right of way.
what do you mean?
We got so much of the right of way.
6 feet into the yard, so many feet from the center of the road, which is on average 6 feet into the yard belongs, it's yours, but it's in everybody's yard and everybody's place. It is called a city right of way,
Yeah,
which means it's the city's property. If a tree's there, we deem it needs to come down. We don't have to ask permission, stuff like that. That's what we're saying. But the bottom line is, we know that it damaged your property. I was already approached, and I've already talked to him, and as soon as we finish the citywide cleanup and we get a day when we can actually put dirt there that's not gonna run out because of the rain,
yeah,
it will be done and it will be seeded. Same way that we do when we have to take pieces of concrete up out of everybody's, for sidewalks and stuff.
okay.
So it will be replaced.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why I'm here,
Okay,
to
no
get
problem.
that done.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, we're just, this whole process has kind of turned into what you would call a sore thumb for a lot of us and the city employees. Just a couple of pieces of information you might be interested in. In the last like 7 or 8 years, the city spent like $12,000
Yeah.
just in haul-off fees, besides not paying the wages, a whole week's worth of wages for 3 guys to do this for the city. We tried a different process a couple of years ago where we put the dumpsters down by the pool in the thing, and then everybody was supposed to bring their own stuff. Well, that didn't work out very well because most everybody just pretty much decided they're just gonna leave it in their yard and not take the, the energy to get rid of it themselves.
And we
Yeah,
even
we
had
took
offered,
ours
we
down.
had even offered for elderly or handicapped or
Yeah,
anything
it
to
was-
that
to pick
effect.
up.
It
We
was
would
out.
pick it up. And so all of a sudden, everybody in town was handicapped and elderly.
We
So-
had, these guys
Yeah.
had picked up, literally
Yeah.
picked up trash with bugs coming out of it. They had picked up bags. They had picked up bags with like stuffed animals and foul stench clothes and stuff like that. And that's not what this program was for.
Yeah.
This program was set up for if you need to have, like an old bed removed or washer and dryers or things that you can't get rid of normally through the garbage thing.
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to do. But it's been taken advantage of so much that it is on very thin ice. I will tell you that.
Well,
right
we
now.
did have a lot of people that come by
Oh, man.
and scavenged
Yeah, and
a
that
lot
needs,
of stuff.
to be honest with you,
And
that,
they
that
made
is
a
supposed to
mess.
be reported, and the cops are supposed to take care of it because
Yeah.
that's not supposed to be a rummage deal. Now, I will tell you this, that Atchison Recycling has been going through with a vehicle and picking up metal stuff for us,
Yeah,
and we appreciate them doing that. But other than that, like I said, this whole program, as far as I'm concerned, is on real thin ice because of the citizens of Tarkio not abiding by the rules.
yeah,
And I'm not going to put my city employees in jeopardy, you know, for whatever happens, hazards that are there, I'll pull the plug on it before I'll do that. I mean, I seriously will.
Well, like I said, I was more upset about my yard than I was what
And
they
we will,
didn't
and
pick
we will
up.
fix that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd like to add that to our agenda at a point, let's discuss this
Okay.
amongst us.
Okay.
Is it,
Yeah, we got an executive
we do?
thing lined up, yes. Okay, thank
Okay.
you. You didn't do anything. Any other visitors? Okay. I'm guessing, Grandpa, you're just here for the ride?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't have a problem.
okay, okay. Announcements? We got anything new and improved?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's go right on into business. Okay, item number 1, bid opening for the 2019 street overlays. We have one, we actually have 2.
Where's it
Okay, the first one is Keller Construction Company of St. Joe. Gravity works, guys. Yeah, it could be that I'm still sobering up from the trip
Who
before.
goes downhill, right?
Something like that. Okay,
Who's this one from?
Keller Construction Company,
Where they at?
St. Joe. Okay, so it says bid price per ton is $115. Total bid price for overlay of specified streets, $117,875.06. Figure out what this
Again, please.
Yeah, say
Huh?
it again.
Say that again, please.
bid price per ton is $115. Total price for overlay of specified streets is $117,000. Or $117,875.06. Doesn't that look like a
Should
6?
round it.
Doesn't that look like a 6? I mean, I thought they'd round it to a 0, but maybe
I
they
agree.
didn't.
How many streets is that?
Okay, so there's the first one.
Take you back.
The readers, sorry. Okay. Okay. And this one comes from who?
There's a,
Okay, this one comes from Herzog. And Herzog's price per ton is $107 per ton, with a total bid price of $120,375.
How's that higher when it's less than
Yeah,
a
so
ton?
where did the difference come in?
is the price the same per ton?
No,
No, it's a way, a lot less, but
It's about, yes.
it's measured something different.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Measured something different.
it's all listed as the same. Okay,
What's the thickness?
3 inches. This says, Herzog says 1,125 tons, and this guy says 1,025 tons. Wouldn't you want to bet that he maybe didn't throw the one in?
Yeah, I don't know.
Since it looks that close.
Main Street's that.
Mhm.
They're all listed, and they're all
How many are there? 5?
thirds,
Is this good?
north
Square
third,
footage?
north third to Spruce, 195 feet. North third, Maple to Sycamore, 700 feet. Poplar Street from 3rd Street, 160 feet west. South 5th, Elm to Walnut, 610 feet. South 9th, Chestnut to Walnut, 268 feet. North 11th, McNary to Maple, 400 feet. 8th and Park begins at 702 Park's driveway, 90 feet.
90?
90.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I've never been in one of these situations before, so one of you guys that's been here before, tell me, do we basically call this back for more information, or do we just go on the assumption that $107 a ton is cheaper than $115 a ton, and even though the
We go on the end price.
and price?
Yeah.
End price.
We're
So
talking
He made a
$3,000
mathematical error.
mathematical error is not our fault.
Okay.
But we gotta look at it this way too. This is the first time we've ever had anybody bid against Herzog since I've been on the board.
Yeah, I've never had anybody that did it.
Well, okay, so we're not gonna worry about the price per ton, we're gonna worry about the end result for what we get, is what you're telling me.
That's what I would look at.
They're both, isn't it apples to apples, right?
Well, it's what it looks like to me, but somehow or another, they ended up with quite a few more tons of material. Herzog did.
You come up with less, did it?
Maybe allowing for
No,
potholes.
Herzog had 1,125 tons, and Keller had 1,025 tons. So 100 tons of asphalt is the difference. And the difference is basically $3,500, $3,500. Roundabout, Steve. Okay, so, if that's the way we're going, we'll just proceed with that. Does anybody want to make a motion to accept Keller's, is it Keller Company or Keller Construction Company of St. Joseph to do our overlay this year?
I make a motion to accept the bid from Keller Construction Company for a street overlay.
I'll second it.
Made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I think that takes
Aye.
care of-
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
I thought I said it.
I didn't hear it. You
I'm
did.
sorry.
I didn't hear it if you did.
That's okay.
Okay, that takes care of that one. You can break the news to Herzog. Okay. Item number 2, approval of liquor license applicant for, it's gonna be called My Store instead of Toy Pines?
It's already called Toy Pines.
Okay.
It's just registered as license.
Okay.
That's what he told me.
Toy Pines has been,
I do have one thing to add yet before you finish the whole thing.
leased, okay, to a man by the name of Amir Raza. And, it's basically the same package we approved for Nick, we just need to approve it for him.
Except,
Except,
when he came in with his, tax exempt form, it's, stated that his tax rate was 6.475, which I'd also had a call from a cigarette company that said that they thought they were outside the city limits. I said, no, they're not. So word down at the state, they still think he's outside city limits, even though all the paperwork was done in 2004, I think. But I told him I wasn't gonna accept this paperwork, and it had to be corrected. That the board would probably go ahead and approve his license pending him getting this straightened out. And he has it straightened out, but he hasn't got the document to me. I do have the, liquor license that shows that it is in the city limits, but I need to tax, I'm gonna tax it, so.
okay. Well, somebody asked me about this today, and they also said that probably the reason why that all got started is whoever down at the liquor board used Google Maps and seen that the city limit sign is on the inboard side of his
Oh,
thing.
yeah, that's true.
So, I guess my question
I know.
is, okay,
Because they annex themselves in.
They annexed themselves in, and when we did the, all the paperwork,
Yeah,
forgot to add the highway right of way, and they wouldn't move the sign. So the highway right of way, like from then and next property to the highway,
yeah,
which is Missouri Highway
yeah,
right of way, that part didn't get annexed into the city,
okay.
so they wouldn't move the sign past next.
Can we move the sign? Is it it's our sign, right?
Yeah, but we have to do the paperwork and get approval through the state to do it.
It is a state sign.
That's
So
what
how
I
did we
was
put the
told.
Purple Heart sign there and just stuck it there?
We got permission.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't pay for it.
All right, so basically what you're telling me is that we can't move the sign because the state's saying they're not gonna screw with it, so we can't screw with it.
Exactly.
We could go back and do the highway right of way and annex it in, but it has to go to other people.
Yeah, let's just not, let's, we've got enough pots stirred, we don't need any more.
I make a motion, we approve the liquor license pending the correction.
The tax.
Okay,
Second.
made and seconded?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. All right, item number 3, approve appointments for David A. Baird, Judge, Robert Sundell, Prosecuting Attorney and City Attorney, Rebecca Jones, City Clerk / Treasurer, Tyson Gibbons, Police Chief, Jesse Payne, Building Inspector, Aaron Burke, Health Inspector, and Adam Stanton, Building Inspector. These are yearly things that we have to, basically, it's just hoopla, but we gotta do them every year, evidently.
I make a motion.
Second.
Made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 4, approve acting president of the Board of Aldermen, and I do not wish to change that at this time. The acting president is Andy Riley, and I would like it to stay that way
The approval of the board.
with the approval of the board.
I make a motion.
I'll third it.
Okay.
Thanks, Lou.
And you can't do nothing.
Okay.
I abstain.
You abstain. Good.
Dave.
That's the only time I've been able to do that.
Okay. Item number 5, department heads. I've taken a look at some of these departments, and I decided I would like to change some people around. If we can have some discussion after I make my appointments before we make a vote. But I would like to swap Andy with the streets. I want to put him on parks, and I want to put Scott on the streets. And Lou, you and Mike, I want you guys to swap jobs.
Okay.
Does anybody have any problems with that? Okay. So you're gonna have fire department from now on. You're gonna have buildings, and you two go where you two go. Okay, can I get a motion?
Make a motion. We all switch departments
Okay.
all the time.
Just to stir the pot, just to see what happens. Okay?
I'll second
It's
it.
just make it new and interesting.
Since you know I get back door, I'll second it.
You are Navy.
Aye.
You are ex-Navy.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Good. Item number 6. We kind of ended up with a little bit of an issue that come to my attention a roundabout way. The Solid Waste Management Board, in which we appointed Shane to a while back, came to the city basically having canaries that he attended one time, and then he asked to be removed from it here just recently because he's got kids and he had to feed them and this, that, and the other of an evening. It came to my attention after the fact that he'd only been to this thing one time. They're trying to do some grants, and they need a quorum, and they've had 2 months straight where they haven't been able to get a quorum because we were not in attendance. So I kind of let the word out that we were looking for somebody, and Bev Jones's new husband, Paul Seaman, volunteered to do this. The next regional council meeting is next Monday instead of tonight 6 PM in Maryville, and he is on board and ready to go as soon as we give him the thumbs up that he's good to
I
go.
make a motion, we let him do it.
I'll second.
Made, seconded,
I have a
Aye.
son every night.
ready to go.
I missed that.
Sorry.
I made a motion,
Thank you,
I second.
thank you.
Scott seconded, and then we all aye.
And we can wait for your eye too.
You know, I'm gonna actually vote no on it, because I think that it's okay for someone to have a job and follow through with it.
Okay.
That's
I think the
understandable.
appointment was fine. I have something every night and I have kids at home. I'm just saying, just my opinion.
Okay. Duly noted. We have approval, and he is cleared hot, then,
Yep.
Becky. You already sent him where to go and when,
Yeah,
right?
he's going to a meeting on Monday, if we approve tonight.
Okay. All right,
Tell him thank you.
and duly noted your objection, because I was a little,
I don't comprehend stuff like that.
I didn't know until
Well,
last.
it's kinda nice that I found out about this today, so, I mean, I really.
It's all right. I mean, it's
appreciate
fine. I just can't consciously. I think this new person will do a good job, and I thank him for doing
it.
it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I just found
I
out
just-
too.
Will you go ahead then, and, cause I'm really feeling a little, like we need to go ahead and purchase stab vests. Because there's a lot of knives being thrown, and I'm
you
getting.
didn't get any of them, it wasn't thrown at you, I was throwing
It
it.
was one of my
Yeah,
people,
I was
wait a
throwing-
minute, it's not my people anymore, so I don't have to worry about it,
I
never
was
mind.
throwing it at Shane, because I would have been fine appointing somebody new if, had he let me know, but he didn't let me know, so I did a little gnawing.
I was on it the last time we went to one meeting,
Well,
but they had it the same.
yeah,
time is this.
This
I was
meeting,
like,
that
come
was-
on, man.
that was,
He was on it the
I
time
was
before
on it
that.
before
that was hence the reason why we put Shane in there, is because he didn't have to be here, so. Okay,
Well,
anyway,
thank the new person. That's
Yes.
nice.
have you met him?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's a nice person.
All right, item number 7, we didn't end up with any volunteers for this yet, did we, Beck?
No, I didn't ask it, I thought you wanted to think about it, so I didn't ask.
Okay, well, we need to replace Lee Eddy on the zoning board. Does any of the 4 of you have any possibility of somebody you would like us to approach?
Mark Stick. Mark
Mark's on it.
on. I was trying to think of who's on it. Mark.
Craig.
Donnie, me.
I can't remember her name.
You think,
Lady that he's always got.
Mrs. McCall.
Oh, Sharon McCall.
Blue,
Yes,
you think Nick White will do it now since he's not having anything to do with
he might.
try that?
I say him or Shane, Brenna's fine.
Shane might do it.
Either one.
Shane. The problem with Shane is he's so busy seasonally. Like if they do, just like
Jobs, responsibilities.
Yeah.
yeah, except for this that we just got done talking about is directly linked to someone's paycheck. That's what annoys me. And he might, it's just that if they need. I know they meet sporadically, so
Try
that's a little
both of them
different.
and see
Yeah.
what
Now,
happens.
once in a blue moon is usually what we
Yeah,
talk about.
and Shane would probably be happy to do it.
No, I don't need little brother in any more pots that I end up.
Check
anywhere
with
near.
Shane and Nick.
Yeah.
Don't check with Flea.
That would be considered nepotism. We already have enough
I
of that in
don't, I
this
don't
county.
need
We
nepping,
don't
I'm
need any more.
nothing, I don't just need little brother in there. We don't need that.
I will check out those names, and
Yeah.
if none of those, maybe,
If none of those, I'm sure we can come up with another one.
What about,
I'll run it by you.
what about the guy we've been trying to hornswoggle into several different things up here?
Yeah, I was thinking about him, cause he,
Who's
that?
he?
I can't think of his name.
The one that bought,
Losing it.
the one that bought Thelma Woolsey's house.
Oh, Alan.
Jim Allen.
Mhm.
Now,
He would be a good one too. I think any of
He's
those
on a
three.
lot of boards.
He's on Tarkio or
Dad, you have desire to be on the zoning board? No.
Respectfully decline.
respectfully decline.
But
Okay,
I think any of
Meet
those
like
would be
once a
good.
year.
all right, we will check that out.
Shane should be
Thanks
on there.
everybody for the input, we will check those out. Okay, did anybody get a chance to go
I
through
know, it's crazy.
the handbook and see anything specific that they wanted to change or bring up?
I don't. I mean, does anybody have any specifics? I don't. But
Okay.
I didn't honestly get a chance to go through it.
Alright, well, I don't wanna put it basically to table it, but we can bring it up again later, we just wanna address it, how's that?
Well, I just request we have it, maybe bring it up, put it on the agenda for next, table it till next thing, so we get a chance to look at it.
Yeah.
That way we're doing it proper. We table it, it stays.
But we table it, we gotta bring it up next meeting, right?
Yes.
Isn't that how that works?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And that'll give me time to take a good look at it.
alright. Item number 9, flood victim request to stay at RV park, you wanna explain that a little bit better?
I know I had one party that came in on, March 29th, they came in on last week to pay their rent, they were a few days late, and requested to stay past May 29th for one more month,
Okay.
or whatever you guys,
Like it.
whatever you guys,
Well,
Yeah, I
what's the
think
big
it's
deal?
fine. Did we have a date rule? I can't
we
remember.
did, we had 2 months and then reevaluate,
Oh, okay.
Well, we're reevaluating,
and
and
so if, if we have
as long as they're gonna pay rent and it's gonna benefit,
And we
reduced
had-
rate,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, but that's still more than having
Yeah.
nobody.
But,
no, but if we have,
okay.
But
I
You're talking-
say that.
You're talking the end of this month though, right?
that is when their time is up.
I think
And
they
they're
have.
requesting it to be extended at least to June 29th.
And they're flood victims.
No,
I don't see any problem.
Sort of,
I'm
but
thinking
they're
there's
not
only
so
one of
big.
them there, right? There's only one of them qualifies under the flood victim.
No, there's
thing?
2.
There's 2.
Okay.
So if you do it for one, you possibly you do it for another too, but
I
I
don't,
mean, I'm good if they're flood
Yeah,
victims.
I don't have a problem with it.
I make a
I
motion
just
to
thought
accept.
if,
I'll second.
how long you
Extend
let
their
it.
stay
if
for
there's
another-
windmill
well, let's
people
put it this
coming in
way.
and wanting-
Windmill
I'll
people,
make a motion that we extend it till
June 29th.
June 29th, and at that time, no matter anything short of another flood, it's gonna go back to the normal rates.
extend 1 month, then back to normal.
Back to normal.
Yes, please.
I'll-
Second.
yeah.
Made
Are
and
we gonna
seconded.
do that for the other one if they want to stay?
Yes.
Yes.
It's for either one of the 2 flood victims.
Yep.
I'm good with that. Made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 10, the park board is requesting to change alcohol drinking in the parks. Alcohol amendment for the street dance. Oh, wait a minute, you got several things.
I got 2 different things.
Okay. There's a suggested change to the ordinance about the, alcohol in public grounds. Ashley, you wanna go ahead and
Yeah.
explain that, and then we'll go on to the,
So, the first one is, we would like a waiver for a peace disturbance. I know it's an ordinance, but you can be charged if you're disturbed by a loud noise. We want a waiver from 4 p.m., and I'm changing it on here to 1 a.m. on September 7th for Friendship Day.
and that's because they're gonna do a street dance.
We're doing a street dance.
And now the light and power is still planning on putting the post in out here?
Correct.
So they'll be plug-ins, so basically the DJ or the band or whatever is gonna be right out here in front of City Hall. So we may get some complaints right
By
over here,
residential.
and maybe, whatever's going on, the hair on the back of my neck stood up, but I don't remember.
But we feel like if we have that waiver in place and that we've announced it, that we're having the street dance with Friendship Day, that hopefully will,
As long as it gets around to everybody.
yeah.
Okay.
So all we're doing is extending it from what's a normal time, Tyson?
There's actually not a normal time,
Yeah,
but
there
I
is.
found in the,
Not an ordinance that limits time, there's a
Yeah.
curfew time.
Okay, so we usually, your guys usually don't do anything unless it's after what, 10:30?
Midnight.
Okay, so we're extending it an hour.
correct.
Yeah.
So I don't see where there's a big deal to give a waiver.
Okay.
Okay.
Item number, okay.
That's number 3 on,
That's actually number 3, yes.
yeah.
What's number 1?
The requested alcohol in the parks.
Is that forever?
No, so what this means is there's an ordinance that states that if you drink alcohol in public, it's illegal and you're gonna be ticketed, okay? So we want to put this clause that says unless a parks and recreational alcohol use permit is granted. What is that? It is a permit that the Tarkio Parks and Recreation would grant with a permit fee of $100 plus a damage deposit of $200 to apply for this permit. And it allows that person to, whoever's sponsoring the event, to have alcohol at that event. Okay? That doesn't mean that down at the ball field, you can go down and bring alcohol in. It's whoever is providing the alcohol has to meet all of the regulations that start on the front, go to the back. But the biggest thing is they still have to come to you guys. They still have to apply for their picnic license or their caterer's license. So you can shoot down whatever we say, hey, okay. So there's still an opportunity for you guys to oversee this process.
Yeah.
But it's going to give us funds if there's opportunities to be had in the future,
It's kind of
or like softball tournaments or different events that another organization is going to sponsor in the public.
okay.
Okay? It also states firmly that, and I'm going to change a little of this because Jeff from Norma was here and suggested these, but a certificate of insurance, and it needs to go into the 1 million for an occasion and the 2 million general. And that we include the additional insurance endorsement for the city, and they sign a hold harmless. So it's not going to be your Joe Schmo coming up here wanting to do this. You're going to have your ducks in a row and be able to support and back if something would happen at your event. Now, if we, as the Parks Department, want to do like Friendship Day, we wouldn't have to pay that fee for the permit.
So what if the, for Friendship Day, the Wild Horse or whatever?
We're sponsoring the event, so we would be hiring them to be our beer vendor.
And they already have their liquor license.
Yes, and they would still have to, just like our bounce house, and we're looking at a petting zoo as well, have that 1 million of liability insurance and a hold harmless agreement. We're actually thinking of maybe doing a truck on our own, a beer truck, and taking that responsibility on ourselves and profiting from the beer garden. And Jeff said that they do cover that through Norma, as long as we go by the Missouri laws.
It would be like if the hospital golf tournament, that one that like pulls up there, that would be
Like
the.
the trailer,
The
Yeah.
kegs.
Okay.
We're not going to be mixing drinks, it'll be kegs.
Yeah,
and
it'll
it'll
be a
beer.
truck that you.
Well, I'm
put-
out then.
Me too.
Really, that's not true.
You just can't drink beer?
Yeah, she can't. I'm sorry.
Sorry, but give my secrets away, actually.
Down below, it also goes in that they're going to clean up their trash and any debris, and if they're in violation of that, they do not get their deposit back, plus they can be fined up to $500. Now, what I did not reinvent the wheel with this. I copied from Maryville Parks and Recreation Department what I felt was appropriate, and I adjusted the amounts because their fees were much higher. But it has worked in other cities.
We got some information from Parkville too.
Yes, Parkville had a packet that basically essentially said the same thing, had more nitty gritty details, but essentially said the same.
Well, my only issue with any of it is, if we're gonna allow alcohol in the parks, I feel it needs to be put into a beer garden area. It needs to be segregated.
That's
how
a Missouri law.
Yeah.
We do not need Tom, Dick, and Harry running around down
No.
the softball field with beer and
No,
cussing and carrying on.
That's not.
that's a Missouri law.
Yeah,
But
they
I'm
would-
not saying for Friendship Day, I'm saying for the
No,
parks.
no,
part.
No,
that's what-
it's a Missouri law. If you have a beer garden or any public beer apparatus, it has to be segregated with a fence or some sort of barrier.
They have to
have their own
They have to
space.
fill by all these rules. She just did all the research to find out exactly what the rules were. No, it wouldn't be just a Tom, Dick, and Harry. It's not, actually,
You have to go
The
by
average-
Missouri laws on
Yeah.
top of
the
this.
average person that's gonna be doing something like that, like a family reunion or whatever, they wouldn't qualify
No.
for that because they ain't gonna, besides not pay for the thing.
Correct.
So I think I'm pretty sure we're in.
Tech support.
Yeah, evidently. I smelled smoke. but
Honestly,
didn't know.
I can only see this working for the Parks and Recreation if we're sponsoring a softball tournament, or the Rotary, or the bigger organizations that can do the liability insurance.
But we have to have all of all that stuff they have to have before
Then they gotta come to us.
then they gotta come to us anyway.
Right.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
We can't. A motion to approve to move forward, because you have to have an
Oh, yeah.
ordinance to do all this.
Yeah, do forward. Okay. Motion's been made to move
Second.
forward.
Do you
Made
have
and
any
seconded.
questions?
Well, you pretty much explained it.
I read what you wrote down except for the changes today.
Which were made by the
Right,
Norma guy.
Norma.
so-
Yeah, so that was probably a good thing that you guys bumped heads.
I know, it was great.
Okay, anything else from you?
I'll give a report during the,
Okay.
when it comes to that, but.
Thank you.
Sure, they do.
Special event form approval, what is that?
Well, this is basically tied to theirs for street closing, for the neighborhood party, street closing. It also has the hold harmless and the,
Okay,
insurance and stuff, but if you wanna wait, hold off on it also to add the,
ordinance.
tie it in with the park too, just have one special event thing, whether it be parks or streets,
Yeah.
in the street or.
And we are closing from the Wild Horse Ash to 7th Street.
In between.
in
Right
between,
around
like the
Flower
flour mill.
Kinda
Pretty much like last year.
Kinda like last year where you
Yeah.
parked the ambulance
Right,
Yeah.
facing away, but
but we
Yeah.
are going further down near the wild.
Yeah, because we're gonna move the bucket brigade onto Main Street instead of having it off, so.
Fine.
What date is the friendship day?
September 7th.
September.
Okay. You ready to move on to item number 8, department reports? Anybody got anything else they wanna bring up?
No, you
I have
skip
another,
one.
there's another 12 on there.
Number 12.
I don't have number 12.
You don't have your iPad.
That's right, I don't.
Blue's messing with
So
it.
what's number 12?
It says Sycamore RV Park reservations.
What's that?
Forgot to read it. Yeah, then pulled the wrong one off the wall.
Okay.
It says, I had a request of a reservation, somebody called, wanted to make a reservation for June, like the end of the June, for like 2 days. Are we gonna, you know, if we get full, are we gonna allow them to, or someone to have to move out for somebody to come in for 2 days?
If they pay,
I told her this, if they paid up,
up
that was a
front,
monthly deal when we did that.
right, but if they pay up front for a reservation, 100% in full, the bottom line is we segregate by picking whatever site it is. Like we tell them we're gonna give them site 10. And then we make sure that whoever between now and then doesn't overextend that time because will already be paid for. So if somebody comes in, they wanna rent it up to that day,
That's fine.
then that's fine, but on that day, they're gonna have to be gone for this other couple or whatever to come in, is the way I think I would want to do it.
We have.
How many spots we got down there?
10.
10. And
We have
four-
12,
12.
we have 12,
How
but
many?
10
There's
operational.
4 in there now.
Aren't they all operating now?
Yeah, 4 or 5 down there.
There's a few?
4 or 5.
There are 4.
Number.
4 or 5.
4 in there.
There's 4 paid for. If there's 5, I don't know about it. They have one guy squatting in 5 with his trailer, but I told him he had to get out if, if we had more people come in, which it sounds like they might be coming.
Okay. So have we had inquiries then? Several inquiries for the windmill stuff?
No, I've just been hearing about it.
So it's getting ready to start ramping up over there, cause they just now started getting the roads done. So, come shortly.
So it could be,
Yeah, they're building a ton over at Maryville, so they're gonna be starting to look for places to park.
Yeah.
So,
we'd have to prepay just the days they're staying.
Yeah.
And how about the deposit? We had a deposit if they rented by the month, but I didn't charge it to the homeless.
for flood victims?
No, I wouldn't charge the deposit to the flood victims, but I think everybody else needs it.
Yes.
Even, but we've never charged for a day or two,
I don't know why we wouldn't.
because nobody else.
All right, well,
I don't
then-
camp, I don't have
For
one
what?
either. They like Camp Mazinga, they charge a deposit.
No.
No, but
I
we
don't
don't,
know.
we
No.
don't, we don't pay $30 per boat either.
What?
You gotta pay, don't you have to pay a fee to put your boat in the lake over there?
Oh, for the year?
Yeah. See? So it's no different than a deposit.
We
I
don't
think
have a
So
lake.
we just set a $200 deposit for a 2-day stay, because that's what we have right now.
I don't know.
We need to decide
Make
that.
it like
Well, how much is the rent?
50.
25 a day.
25 a day, then $100 deposit.
Yeah,
And that's if they screw up the electrical or something to that effect.
online, I think.
So that would keep us from having to pay for it out if they hooked, or if they didn't unplug and.
Or something out. I don't see 200. I would see, you know, if they're,
I'd say $100.
I say $100 up until the point to where their bill,
Runs by the month.
yeah, if they go past $100 worth of stays, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's $25 a day. So that's 4 days, right?
No.
And then if they're gonna be longer than 4 days, then it jumps up another $100.
Okay, so for a 2-day stay, you want a $100 deposit.
Yes.
Plus the rent,
Yes,
prepaid,
yes.
so. Everybody do different,
Okay,
25.
so now are we ready to move into
No,
department
we
reports?
have to have the board approve this, it's a fee.
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve what I said.
I'll second it.
Made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Did you say nay? Okay, so we have a nay. Just to make things
We had
interesting.
2 tonight. That's
Just to make
awesome.
things interesting.
I think you guys
Did you
talked
know?
before this.
Yeah, that's good. Like the people's the same. Okay.
I just think it's crazy to put the deposit down like that for 2 days.
Yeah, so I don't have a test.
Mr.
Yeah,
Clausen.
but see, the reason I say that, though, is
I
if
don't
they
know.
don't pay the, if they don't pay
I
the
showed
money
it
up
off
front,
when we
once they stay
started
2
here.
days, and all of a sudden they leave in the middle of the night, but he's not sitting down there. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why I say use it.
Plus, it'll give them an opportunity to check out, and then that gives
That's fine. it
our
works good.
guys the opportunity to look and see for damage before they take off, you know. All right. So let's go into department reports. Ms. Dow,
I don't
Right.
have one. I've texted Shane 3 times today and never got anything back, so.
but we do know that the new fire truck
It's
is on
ordered.
its way.
Yeah.
Did he send
I
it
do
to
have an
you?
update for your fire. The hospital's getting an MRI machine, and so your fire department will be getting an education from our MRI group shortly as to how they can fight that fire. Because anytime the hospital has a call out, Tarkio is on alert. So they'll be coming to teach them. I can't remember the date. It's coming up in June. Basically, do not go inside with your equipment on at all.
Yeah,
Ever.
it's
So,
Jesus.
stay
Yeah,
outside.
they need that training.
So, yeah.
It's that big ass magnet.
Yeah. So, that is coming up in June for the fire department.
Okay.
And Shane knows and they've set that up, so.
Yeah, and they have, yeah, they do have the truck ordered, and they were supposed to help with the bike night, and they had a lot of people that were gonna help in the fire department, and our police were gonna help, but we canceled it anyway.
His equipment that he ordered came in, and it was hooked up, and evidently he's functioning quite well, so we've got that compressor gizmo and the thing for their breathing apparatuses in place. Mr. Classic, city buildings.
Gutter still needs fixing back.
Okay, have we gotten any kind of bids or any?
Like anybody respond back, and I tried.
Okay.
Community building wasn't termite. There was one sitting in there and chewing something out. The Weinhardt's supposed to straighten out the, but that'll be temporary.
On what?
Folk Schoolhouse.
The corner post,
Mrs. Harrington let me know
they're
that.
rotten.
Yeah.
I think the whole post on that.
Well, it probably won't be, the picture I seen looked like it had been gnawed on pretty good. Okay. Anything else for buildings?
That's all we got.
Mr. Riley, streets, or Jamie, I don't care which one of you.
Victor Phillips was here this last week and did the 500-hour maintenance on the new machine.
We got a bill, it was closer to 2,000.
Well, there was some work they did with the
Yeah.
skid steer also.
Yeah, they did some work.
And,
Was the skid steer in the warranty? Did we take the warranty out of
yeah,
the
but
skid steer?
the warranty, it didn't cover, it won't cover like some of the, on that one, it won't cover like the hose that was broke and the fluids and for the air conditioner they had to work on it. And
Didn't you tell me once before it costs an arm and a leg for them to even drive up here anyway?
yes, it does.
Well, you got a new boss now, so you might not have air.
You guys opened the bids for the street matting, the brush pile, it's getting used a lot. There's been some more tickets issued there. After citywide cleanup, I'm gonna be ordering more coal patch, cause it's almost all gone. Unless you guys have something else, that's about the extent of it.
Kind of give us an overview of citywide cleanup then? We don't want to do that now?
No, we don't wanna do that now.
Okay.
Okay. I was just trying to get some information from the person who was doing it, but that's fine. Okay,
Well, Scott was out there with him today, and I've been out there driving around with him too, so.
okay, we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it afterwards.
Yes.
Um,
And the only reason is because I think it'd be best we do it that way.
okay. Mr. Poppy, Parks and Pools.
No, the only thing I know about the pool was they had a line broke or something. And but you guys can discuss, I didn't even make it to your meeting, so.
There's a pipe down in the,
Pump room.
that's broken, and Corey and Michael were going to be reaching out to a few people because they thought they knew somebody that would have that size pipe here in town, so, hopefully by tomorrow.
Fertilizer.
Yeah.
Fertilizers.
And then, or
No.
Byron Clark, so they were pretty,
Marshall
hopeful.
Oswald.
yeah, that they would be able to find that, so.
Just gotta remember, we gotta make sure that that's the pressure.
It's gotta be
Yeah.
a Schedule A.
They
Right.
knew the,
Okay.
oh, thank God they're on the board, cause we were,
Mhm.
anyway, so they're gonna
Yes.
be working with Chris and
Yeah.
hopefully find that for him and then get somebody to.
Well,
put
you
that
sent
up.
out an email today
Yes, I
too,
sent out
right?
an email with pictures of the company down in St. Joe who builds pools like that, so they might have something like that on hand to bring up. They haven't got back with me yet, and like that wall and plumbing out of Florida, like that, like I said, even Donnie, me, I talked to him first before anybody, and he said that they're so swamped, he'd have to order all the parts in for it, and stuff like that, which that's what Wallen said they'd probably have to do, but their service guy hadn't called me back yet, they just talked to the lady there at the office.
Okay.
They've been out, but work on that.
So basically you dumped it in a pool boy's lap.
Tim, do you feel like Stockbusters, if we would come up with the supplies, would be able to
Nope.
put that in?
They will not work for the city as long as I am mayor.